Hello internets, this is BoneCarlos coming to you live from Belshire Vistage Ladder Edition to bring you another StarCraft 2 shoutcast commentary kind of thing. The players today are going to be IceSword spawning as the red Zerg. His opponent is going to be none other than iMarine spawning as the blue Protoss. So already we got a little bit of an interesting thing going on here. iMarine, usually you associate that with Terrans. He's decided to play Protoss. IceSword is playing Zerg, who don't use any swords whatsoever, and I don't even think they have any sort of ice powers imbued in their Zerg carapaces. So who knows what cheeky shenanigans these guys are going to do. Already iMarine is gonna put down his forward pylon, gonna go see a forge fast expand most likely going to happen. IceSword, if he does manage to scout off in time, or soon I should say, he will be able to scout that, spot that, and act accordingly. Now the only question would be for IceSword would be if he decides to take a greedy quick 3 expansions, or he decides to do some sort of 2 expand then spawning pool other than just a straight 3 expansions. I have had opponents do that against me before, and it's an interesting little trick to decide to do on your build order, and exactly what you guys want to do. And iMarine are queuing up those pros. Both of these players are masters level players, as you can see indicated by the APM. As always, APM is a direct indicator of skill. Looks like a spawning pool going down already for IceSword, and they'll go ahead and chase away this probe, and this probe is just going to go ahead and do its best that it can to delay this expansion for as long as possible. And already there is no probe in the natural expansion, so iMarine is going to be just a tad late with his expansion. He did have enough to put down that expansion down about 20 seconds ago, and still this probe is just being very annoying. And finally, with 1 HP, he's going to go ahead and head on home. And actually, the Nexus went down around the same time that this hatchery did. So count that in a win of the Protoss corner, since if you're up ahead on a basis compared to your Zerg opponent as Protoss, always a win. And this probe is still being a little bit of annoying. He's going to go ahead and interesting little rally point, and this Overlord is going to get itself dizzy if it doesn't stop there any time soon. And no extractor just yet, so IceSword really just built a spawning pool for no apparent reason as of yet. He does have a queen, gonna go ahead and put up a couple of more drones in production, 4 Zerglings on the way, but really those 4 Zerglings are more than likely going to be for map control, to take these central Zelnaga towns. Since if you do take both of them, you pretty much take all the paths available towards your opponent's stap. Towards your opponent's base. So I mean, you have this middle area right here where the destructible debris is. This Naga tower covers it. Covers pretty much all the way out to here in this area, and the only way to attack or to get into your opponent's base is all the way through here. So it looks like IceSword is gonna go ahead. Here, Hobie was stalking me. Yep, it looks like the Overlord was stalking the Protoss players, double assimilator down. But yeah, like I was saying, those 4 Zerglings, the initial 4 Zerglings, were just for, actually going to go ahead and try to taste on this probe. It might survive, it might not, but those 4 initial Zerglings are just going to go ahead and for map presence, map control. I doubt IceSword is going to do anything, especially since I don't think he has any sort of extractor just, no, not just yet. He went ahead and got his 3rd hatchery up and running, or 50% done as soon as possible. Already Gateway Cybercore going down for IceSword. Everything hunky-dory. No probe transfer, but that's okay. He has a double assimilator, so everything very standard on iMarine. Now this is where he could deviate from on what he would like to do. He could either go mass gate. He could either go, the Immortal Sentry all in, but with the addition of the Oracles, with the addition of a lot of the Sky Toss awesomeness that can happen, that is also quite a bit of a possibility as well. It just goes up to see what iMarine can glean from his opponent. IceSword's a little bit supply block, 36 out of 36. 2 Overlords are on the way, and he's going to go ahead and start building up his hatchery, his larva count, getting ready to don his perspective tech back. No +1 armor just yet from iMarine, so that's just a bit interesting. So it's expecting to believe that more likely he's going to go for that Sky Toss build. I would like for him to grab a 3rd assimilator if that is where he wants to be headed, because off of 2 assimilators, 1 base off 2 assimilators is not really the way to go, if you, especially if you want to go sky toss. If you're just gonna go straight harassment, like, you know, some Phoenix's oracles, that'll be just fine. And I would like for him to put down a couple more stargates here, just to transition directly into sky toss mode. Right now in IceSword's side of the base, the 2 extractors at the natural expansion are completed, but he hasn't done anything else beyond that. We'll have the 7-minute mark, no lair tech. I mean, he hasn't even mined any really gas. He just started it. 4 workers on one, 3 on the other. A probe did go down, so unfortunately for him, iMarine, he won't be able to put down any forward pylons anytime soon. He's going to get ahead into 3rd and 4th of simulator, so very tech-heavy build by iMarine. He's going to go ahead with a very delayed, expanded 1-1-1 build a la the Protoss build order. So he's building Phoenixes. He's going to go ahead and clear up these overlords here and here, but I don't know if IceSword has spotted anything of that nature. No, he doesn't know anything what's going on inside the base just yet. So as soon as he sees these, as soon as he sees a single Phoenix, going to go out, and he's probably more than likely going to put down a spore colony. But does it even have a, nope, he has a war spore, no evo chamber yet, just yet. So all the anti-air for the most part is going to be these queens, and there is 1, 2, and oh no, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like yeah, there is 3. There goes that spore caller. So yeah, it looks like the evo chamber was put down. I'm not sure exactly where it was. Maybe I'm missing it, maybe I'm not, but it doesn't matter because the spore crawlers are down. IceSword knew exactly what was coming, and here comes a hallucinating Phoenix. Really, more than likely gonna go poke and prod, but it looks like this Phoenix is already taking care of 1 overlord, and as soon as that overlord was taken down, the spore crawlers went up and running, and here comes this 1, 2, 3, 4 gate with a robotics facility. So you're gonna go ahead and see some interesting mixture of iMarine. It's gonna be a very lean army, but kind of heavy on the tech, and it doesn't look like he's gearing up to take any sort of 3rd base just yet. He's saturating his main base very well. His his expansion is going to be saturated quite well as well. So while IceSword is just getting up his tech path, he has 6 extractors already on the field, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and gear up for that evo chamber. It looks like a double evo chamber, an infestation pit on the way. So that looks like IceSword played very, very greedy, and he actually got away with it. iMarine is going to go ahead and take his 3rd as well, so a very heavy macro sort of game. There hasn't been any sort of aggression on either sides of the field. I mean, it looks like iMarine has only lost 50 minerals. It looks like a couple of Zerglings, maybe a couple of those overlords were taken down by iMarine, and oh, unfortunately a Zealot does join the list of casualties in this current battle. A couple of Phoenixes there are just hanging out, not doing much else. Finally a Mothership Core, 10-minute and a half Mothership Core is generally what you want to do. Not so much, you generally want to have that out a little bit earlier, but again, iMarine felt very, very safe. I don't know when he exactly scouted this 3rd hatchery, but upon seeing that 3rd hatchery, you can pretty much play as greedy as you'd like, while IceSword feels the exact same way. I mean, he has his 4th hatchery up and gonna go ahead and go down in a few seconds. These Phoenix are gonna get a couple of kills, maybe. They're gonna get a free overlord or 2. The queens are there. A nice pickup here could probably spell the danger, and ooh, we see Swarm Host on the field. Not sure if iMarine was able to catch that or not, but they are coming. It looks like he might want to gear up. The Colossus tech is going, but really want to have overwhelming number of Colossi to be able to take down that those Swarmos, since those little Swarmlings are pretty much free. They don't cost any energy, they don't cost any minerals, any gas. They're just based on a timer. Already the grounds level weapon up +1 weapons level is being researched, so very late upgrades for actually level 2. Very late upgrades for iMarine. The creep spread is very low on IceSword's side of the base as well, with no upgrades. So both these players are just doing boons of macro style play. I mean, IceSword, the harvest count is generally where you would like for it to be at this stage of the game, especially with no aggression whatsoever. See 88 for IceSword, 64 for iMarine. Generally around what you want to do. And finally, we see a nice little poke and prod gonna go ahead and be done by iMarine. His Mothership Core has enough for a recall, which I actually love that ability coming out of a quick Mothership Core. I actually like pushing forward with 3 or 4 gates, doing some damage, recalling right back, and there goes, ooh, this Swarm Host was just our unburrowed. IceSword knows that he's not going to win this encounter. He's going to go ahead and fly back. Phoenixes are going to go ahead and lift off one of these Swarm Hosts. There is no detection Well, there is one observer. They're going to go ahead and catch Force Field. Do manage to catch one Swarm Host off of guard. Looks like this queen will go down. Here come those little locusts that are going to go ahead and pick away at the Zealots. iMarine decides to recall back. Not sure exactly what that decision was for. He could have easily keep pushing forward, keep pushing back these locusts, especially with the amount of just the overwhelming numbers that he really have. I mean, yeah, all that IceSword really have was 4 queens, 6 locusts. So I would have just kept poking and prodding and try to take down as many as possible, but really he's going to go ahead and take his 4th base as well. Massive amounts of upgrades. Blink, we saw board rays, we're seeing Colossi, we're still seeing probes being built. Another Starclay High Templars are going to be produced as well, and 94 drones on the field for IceSword. This is a little bit too much. He wants to have a little about 10 less than that, but what do I know? I'm just in lonely plat. These guys are masters. They know what they're doing. And here come the slow, steady crawl by these Swarm Hordes. These are just going to be annoying as heck since they have quite a bit of range. Now, the Locusts won't reach that far. They'll probably die around here or so, but still, they are going to be there at the back of iMarine's mind just to make sure that where they're at. And IceSword is just using these guys as scout, which is actually fantastic. He knows about this 4th base. He already has his 4th base of his own. They're going to go ahead and start nibbling away at this pylon. This pylon will go down, and iMarine is actually supply blocked now, but he has everything he really wants at this moment. He only has one robotics facility there, but he has plenty of gateway units, a couple of Stargates. I would like to see I would actually like to see a, what is it called? A fusion core, I do believe, to be able to warp in those high-tech fleet beacon. Oh, what am I thinking of? Fusion core is for the Terrans. Shame on me. I'm just a lowly Protoss. These destructible rocks are going to be taken down. IceSword is still dancing around the middle of the map. He's going to go ahead and unsiege and head on back home while he takes his 6th base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th base, but iMarine knows it with those little phoenixes just hovering all around. These Swarm Hordes are going to go ahead and burrow, and he looks like iMarine is going to go ahead and try to take out this 4th base, and he will be able to take it down. These Swarm Hordes actually might take down this 4th base, so it's going to be like a little bit of a trade. These drones are going to be burned to shreds. The harvest count now even, and that was probably a nice little bit of a helping hand for IceSword. He recalls right back, so nice play by iMarine. He manages to take down a base, manages to recall back and save his own, so good play knowing what kind of spells his units have, and Vipers on the field. So Vipers, Swarm Host, Roaches, Zerglings. I mean, just throw in an Ultralisk and a Mutalisk or two, and you'll be up there in the tech. And now it looks like iMarine is just split in both ways. We got slow-moving queens, easy pickings there. We see Vipers there just dancing around the map. We see Swarm Hosts attacking this base. This Nexus might not survive, but at the same time, these queens are just way out of position. As soon as iMarine sees, he's going to go ahead and take them out very, very quickly, because queens by themselves not that great. Blink forward does manage to take on 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. There it goes. Transfusions galore. They do not manage to save it. Looks like Hydralisks are finally on the field. Force fields do hold them back. This mothership core does go down. I think it did have enough for a planetary overdrive on this Nexus, making it into the planetary Nexus. Finally, the force fields do wear down. Locusts are there en masse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Swarm Hosts with Hydralisk backup. This is going to be very interesting. iMarine's plummeted down to 160 supply, but a fresh warp-in does give him 182, and now here it comes. Hydralisks are going to burn very, very quickly to these 3 Colossi. It looks like these +2 weapons do help it out immensely. Zealots are falling very quickly to the Locusts, and now it's time for iMarine to push forward. I don't think he still does have that observer there, so he will be able to take it out, and he retreats back. He sees that fresh stream of Locusts coming in and decides to pull on back just a little bit, and this next guy is still up with its 89 health. 10 shields are regenerating. He's going to go ahead and push forward with his observer, and this nice warping up Zealot's going to go ahead and clean up this base. So right now IceSword is back. He's just a bit up against the wall. I mean, if these Locusts or if these Swarm Horses go down, it will be game over. It looks like he knows he's going to go ahead and pull back a blink forward, manages to catch one off guard. It looks like he does manage to get down, but the Roaches are there to back up, and now it's time for these Stalkers to head on back, but not without getting themselves one free Hydralisk kill. They're going to go ahead and give chase, try to get a second one, but these Zerglings are there. They might going to go ahead and get surrounded, but it looks like iMarine's is a bit of a dress. He loses a bunch of stalkers that he manages to blink back, but these swarm hosts, these zerglings are doing quite a bit of damage, just running around all over the map, keeping iMarine distracted while IceSword just builds up the army that he wants. Dark Templar are on the field. Looks like it's going to be Roaches and Hydralisks up against, oh, these Void Rays. They chew up those Roaches quite nicely. The Colossi killed those Hydralisks very, very easily, but IceSword does the damage he needed, takes down that base, but at the same time, base on the other side of the map, iMarine has just taken, so he is a-okay in that department. Right now, it looks like it could be anyone's game, really. The upgrades I do think they favor iMarine. No, IceSword has been cranking out those that double Evo chamber, so +2/+2 on these Hydralisks, +2/+2 on these Roaches. I do believe they actually benefit the Locusts as well, so the upgrades do benefit everything. So IceSword has a great advantage there in the upgrades. It looks like these Zealots might be able to take down this hatchery, but no, the transfuses keep it alive, so that's many Zealots are wasted, and it looks like Dark Templar are there. No, I don't think there is any sort of detection there for IceSword. Nope, no Overseers on the map, so these Dark Templar can actually do quite a bit of damage, but they are morphed into Archons. They do great damage up against these Locusts, and it looks like iMarine just forgot completely about these upgrades. He has plenty of, well, he has plenty of minerals to be able to float those upgrades, but not enough Vespene Guesses. He just warped in a ton, actually 3 High Templar. I don't think they know Psionic Storm just yet. Nope, it isn't being researched yet. Gravitic Drive is being researched. Chrono boosted out. Double Forge actually, so is not being utilized quite just yet. Looks like iMarine was just thrown for a loop by that Swarm host, just sieging up and taking that middle of the map. Now Corruptors on the field to take care of those Colossus. Roaches, Hydralisk, nice little composition by IceSword. He's maxed out at 200, and iMarine is really just feeling very, very thin here. Looks like these Hydralisks are just going to go ahead and push forward. They are not where they should be. Roaches in the front, Hydralisk in the back, but that is okay because just the amount of units that IceSword have is going to be able to take down this Nexus. It's going to go down, no question about it. Nice warp in at the top from this warp prison. We're going to go ahead and take down this hatchery, but now the base count does favor IceSword at the moment. If he doesn't have anything to be able to force field off. The little blink forward does manage to catch a few of these units on their Psionic Storm. Huge, takes care of plenty of health out of those Roaches. Now it's just, and it looks like iMarine should just push forward. He definitely has the advantage right now. The only units that really IceSword have are these Swarm hosts, but they are on the wrong side of the field. And if iMarine decides to go for a base trade situation right now, he might actually be able to pull this off because these Locusts are very slow. Swarm hosts don't regenerate him just at that very quickly, and with this is a very scary force. He has 4 Colossi, plenty of Void Rays, and the Dark Templar are there churning up the numbers of the Zerg forces. There's a single Spore Crawler there, but will be taken down very, very quickly. It looks like this base for iMarine is finished. And where is mining bases here? We got Natural Expansion is there. 3rd is there as well. 4th is ready. And it looks like IceSword might lose this, but he has actually a fresh stream of Roaches there. He's going to go ahead and get surrounded by those Swarm hosts. So now it looks like iMarine is pinned off. A Psionic Storm does manage to get a huge chunk of IceSword's army, but there is just too much meat there. It looks like the upgrades do finally kick into effect, but still, it looks like the Zerg forces have been decimated. Finally, the Storm hosts do manage to get off another volley of Locusts, but it just doesn't seem to be enough. It looks like Zerglings finally take care of the last remaining Colossi. Now it's just these Void Rays left up against 2 Queens. They have transfuses galore. They're going to go ahead and keep them alive for quite some time. These guys are not the Wings of Liberty Void Rays. They do have that little E prismatic alignment, and without that, it is just game over for these Void Rays. This base is going to go ahead and be retaken by iMarine. Food count, obviously, 97 for IceSword, 110 for iMarine. Plenty of DTs just hanging around willy-nilly. And finally, I think IceSword knows what's going on. He's going to go ahead and morph an Overseer to catch this single Dark Templar on this Storm host. There it goes. Finally takes down, managed to take down 1. It gets surrounded by the Zerglings, and that is it. These Locusts are going to go ahead and keep this base down. Immortals are there for those Roaches, but I think he pretty much shifted away primarily from these roaches. Like, it looks like IceSword just hit that R button in a panic mode just because he wanted just to beef up his army while trying to go for a little base trade side kind of situation. It might do great damage up against those roaches, but not so much up against the massive amounts of hydralisks that are being produced currently. So right now, if iMarine will actually churn out a few more Colossi, but he's essentially broke. I mean, look at the bank that he's sitting, 2,800 by IceSword, almost 3,000. iMarine is hovering around 200, 300 or so, with a lot of just idle probes. Like, he just managed to misclick those mineral patches, and here come the Zerg forces. Going to go ahead and swarm off. We're going to see roaches, hydralisks on the right, swarm hosts on the left, and it looks like iMarine's going to go ahead try again for this base trade situation as well, but IceSword definitely has the numbers. I mean, looking at units, 4 Zerglings, inconsequential, 19 hydralisks, 8 roaches, 2 swarm hosts, just hanging around in the middle of the map up against DT, Zealot, and Colossi Void Ray. So it's pretty much anyone's game. Both these players are still very hesitant about where they want to push, where they want to attack. They want to get the advantageous position, obviously. But right now, IceSword just has it all. Another hatchery did go down, but another one is going right back up. Right now, IceSword is definitely winning the war of attrition here. Just throwing units away while doing plenty of damage to his opponent. I mean, look at the resources count, generally around the same. Resources do favor iMarine, but without as many bases as IceSword has had throughout the game, he's clearly losing that battle. Another mothership core on the way. Has there been a fleet beacon built off in the background? I don't see it. It looks like he just wants that time warp ability. That'll greatly help going up against a lot of those locusts that he's been seeing so far. Maybe even that little bit of a recall. And here it comes. These hydralisks are going to go ahead and push forward. Roaches are just going to go ahead and clean up everything up. Beautiful psionic storms actually managed to catch a huge amount of IceSword's army. The food plummeted down to below 100, but quickly regenerated up to 110 for just a few seconds, and it looks like IceSword just threw away plenty of units. Those psionic storms did massive amounts of damage, and finally the storm horse are going to put in a position that they want to do, keep pressure on those expansions that iMarine is trying desperately to put up. And iMarine is just going to go ahead and attack this left side of the map, trying to see if there's an expansion going on there. Nope, the expansion is on the other side of the map. While it looks like he's going to go ahead and try to almost retake this, but these swarm hosts are going to do plenty of damage, especially if iMarine is not careful. Nope, he's going to go ahead and keep with his main army. Small amounts of units here and there. Hydralisks are going to go ahead and get picked up very easily with this Archon Colossi combination, not to mention those Zealots. Looks like we finally see 1+3 attack, but at this point I do believe that the IceSword has been on 3-3 for quite a while. Beautiful Psionic Storms managed to catch just basically everything, bring all of these roaches down the air. Here comes that time bomb, slows down a lot of these roaches. They're going to get chewed up very, very quickly. Colossi do plenty of damage, especially with that +3 attack. But here comes more Hydralisks, 8 more on the way. A beautiful Psionic Storm manages to catch all of these Hydralisks. IceSword is just throwing away units left and right. If that's something if I could just have him just listen to me, maybe, is just avoid Psionic Storms. They generally do quite a bit of damage. iMarine is just in the middle of IceSword's base. Here come those drones. Both players are now essentially broke. There are locusts attacking the natural expansion of IceSword, while units are just scattered about. This has turned into a very slow macro-style chess kind of game, and just turned into just an ugly bar brawl. Both players are bleeding, cut, scraped, bruised, lumps left, lumps right. And it all just comes down to see who's going to whittle themselves down. First Mothership 4 does finally go down. Zerglings there are going to go ahead and take out these remaining Zealots. There are 3 now observers. I don't think they could help in that fight just yet. Both players are at 40 and 40 supply respectively. A couple of high Templar there for defense, not quite enough for a couple of Psionic Storms. A few more seconds and they will be. Both players, there's a bit of a lull in the action, while both players just managed to try to build whatever they can. There is a decent saturation coming in from both of these extreme expansions that they have. The harvester count is generally the same, 21 to 26. And wow, what a difference 15 minutes can make. At one point, IceSword almost had 100 harvesters. They were whittled down very, very quickly, especially when walking past those Colossi. And here comes a fresh Zergling, a fresh Zergling swarm pack. Yeah, I would go ahead and call them a pack. Streaming across the map, and now we just wait. These High Templar were just these Dark Templar were just surrounding those Slowmos. Finally managed to take them out. Overseer's gonna go ahead and finally catch them. And wait. And go. And wait. And oh, finally IceSword managed to avoid a Psionic Storm. And yeah, he wants to be careful. There are plenty of Psionic Storms to take care of. All of those Zerglings, 3 or 4 of them will pretty much incinerate them completely. And it looks like iMarine is just pretty much just stuck on this High Templar Zealot. So Archon Zealot versus Zergling, a Hydralisk for the moment. And in my opinion, that that High Templar Zealot would definitely win. It looks like IceSword is going to go ahead and try to take care of this remaining expansion, but really, they really aren't doing much. IceSword is still trying to buy himself some time to mine some more minerals, but at the same time, iMarine is doing the exact same thing. Zerglings are going to go ahead and take care of this expansion. Where are his units? There we go. IceSword finally gets into the game. Zerglings do manage to take down 1 Zealot, while at the same time, a feedback takes care of 1 Overseer. I do believe they'd have the same amount of health and energy, and other ones being morphed in as we speak. And Central Tower is still being taken by this Zealot, so everything's a-okay there. Looks like here the Sky Toss battle is a null and void. IceSword really needs to push his advantage forward, split off these packs of Zerglings, attack left, attack right, multiple directions, because this army, the strength of this army is sticking together for iMarine. Right now the strength of IceSword's army is its mobility, its quickness, especially on, well, I mean, this creep set has been pretty much taken down creep tumor by creep tumor. Well, he's going to go ahead and try to take that expansion, but really cancels it when he sees his opponent coming. And he's just trying, and this is what IceSword really needs to do, just buy himself some time, attack left, attack right, while at the same time iMarine just says, you know what, you go ahead and attack my left, I'll attack your right. If you go ahead and go out to my right, I'll attack your left. So a couple of Dark Templar are going to go ahead and warp in for the French, but that's just too many Zerglings. We're going to go ahead and churn into these probes very, very quickly. This expansion will go down. It's going to be focus fired down. No Psionic Storms on those drones. They were there for the picking. So again, both of these players are going to be put down into essentially no mining bases whatsoever. I do see an Ultralisk on the way. There it is. So no minerals are going to be mined for quite some time. Looking at the income tab, we see 1 harvester for iMarine, 16 for IceSword. It comes down to this. This is the final battle. Everything is being put out onto the field. All of these High Templar have plenty of energy, enough for at least 1 storm each. There goes that Ultralisk with this cool skin. Oh, look at that. It's all, bloody and nice. Here it comes. Sonic Storms does manage to catch plenty of those drones. Zerglings do go down, but it does manage to take down a couple of those Archons with them as well. Zealots are going to go ahead and hold off these Zerglings, but it is just not enough. The Swarmers are there to reinforce. An Archon is there, but there's just too much. Ultralisk is going to go down. Looks like iMarine just tries to micro back and forth, but that is it. GG. Intense game. That's it for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed. If not, leave comments down below on what I could do to make these more enjoyable for you. Yeah, if you have one of your own games you'd like for me to cast, feel free to upload them to one of the major replay sites. Drop.sc is very, very popular. And send me the link, and I'll be more than happy to take care of it for you guys. That is it for me. I am out of here.